very happy to be back with our Subspace Energy Hub podcast episodes. This is the first podcast episode for this year, but also it's a very special one because firstly we're shooting it in person for the first time, but also we are recording it at the Hagerbates Gallery, which is the infrastructure and the facility where the Subspace Energy Hub is implemented. And where all the innovation with net zero energy solutions in underground construction is happening. I'm very happy to be speaking today with Jakob Jensch, who is the Head of Business Development for Civil Engineering and New Energy Infrastructures for Implenia. And Implenia is a member of the Subspace Energy Hub, but also a shareholder of the Hagerbates Gallery. And we will get to learn more about the collaboration on a talk with Jakob. Thank you very much, Jakob, for your time and for joining us today.
Absolutely welcome, and thank you very much, Aurora, for the invitation and also for the chance to get to present some insights about me and Implenia, and of course our collaboration together with the Subspace Energy Hub. It's really a pleasure.
Great. Well, we're always innovating, so that's why you keep seeing changes in very short time. To start off, Jakob, we usually start the conversations with going back and sharing a bit of history of the guest, but also the company that they represent. So we would like to know more about you, but also about Implenia, about the journey so far. So I know you have an educational background in engineering, but also management and business, and looks like the role you have in Implenia, it's a combination of your educational background and fits you. But how was your journey, professional journey so far, and what made you stick to Implenia for the past 7 or 8 years?
Yes, sure. Maybe first I'll start with some background information about myself, and then we can switch over to Implenia. So, as you said, I have a background in industrial engineering, and I did my master's, I think it's now 9 years ago in Constance in Germany. So, and as you also mentioned, I did also an additional master, which I finished, I think last year, so just recently at the University of St. Gallen, which was in general management. So this was a really good add-on to my primary education. So, and I joined Implenia 9 years ago, so it's a long time, almost 10 years now.
Oh, okay.
So that was in the beginning, I was responsible for building up the topic of lean construction, and I have been around a lot of projects with project optimization and implementing lean on the projects outside on the construction side. In the recent years, I think it was 4 years ago or something, I'm more specifically focused on strategic development and business development, and I was able to build up a team inside the division Civil Engineering, which is called Strategic Business Management, which I also the head of. And this team is responsible for all the strategic planning, business planning over the next years, but also all the strategic initiatives so that we can develop strategically further as a division, and also the M&A cases and everything we handle. So that is really, really interesting, and that was also really suitable with the further master in general management. However, I will now hand over my position as Head of Strategic Business Management to my successor in March, and I will focus on new challenges, more in the direction of new energy infrastructure and sustainable solutions also in the construction era.
Mm-hmm. So you are well set with Implenia for after these years, and I believe you see a longer term collaboration, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Now about Implenia, I think, or I have seen that I believe it's one of the biggest construction companies in Switzerland, or the biggest one, or one of them, not sure. But Implenia itself is quite new, no? It was a bit confusing when I was doing the research, because there seems to be a very long time history of the company itself, 130 years of experience, but Implenia itself, it's quite young. So could you shed some light on the journey
Yes,
of the company?
of course, I can do that for sure. Implenia itself is a quite young company, so to say. So it was founded in 2006. but it was founded through a merger of the two biggest construction companies in Switzerland at that time. So as we are a young company, we can also look back at the history of over 130 years. So, and since the merger, we really grow big, and we grew over the last 17 years now really internationally, both organically and inorganically. It was a kind of a mix. But now we are really, really big in Switzerland. We are the biggest construction company in Switzerland as Implenia, but we are also really big in Germany, which are both our core markets, where we offer all our service portfolio. But with our division Civil Engineering, where I am at home, so to say, we are also internationally present. Exactly, thank you. And we are, for example, in Scandinavia, in Norway and Sweden. We are active also in Austria, France, and the northern part of Italy.
Mm-hmm. Okay, interesting. So now I understand better why it's a long-term history, but also short-term company in the name of Implenia. Let's start. So we have some history background about you, and for Implenia. Now let's keep going with the conversation, but by seeing it on the bigger picture. So decarbonization is a huge topic in the world for most of the industries, most of the companies. They have to approach it in a way or another. They have to either innovate, do things in a different way that they are used to doing before, change the reality, and try to fight the threat that is coming from the carbon emissions in the world. And I believe the construction companies are one of the industries that are affected, or they have to do more in this regard, since many processes included in this industry, they have to do a lot with carbon emissions and reducing it. So I believe Implenia is also doing their part in this regard. How is Implenia exactly approaching the decarbonization topic? And what are some of the strategies that you are implementing in short-term or long-term timelines?
Maybe first of all, as you said, decarbonization is, I think, one of the biggest challenges, I would say, we as a society, as a whole society, are facing in the future. So, of course, this concerns all industries around the world. But of course, as the construction industry is one of the biggest emitters of CO2 emissions, of course, this is also a really, really big task for us, for the construction industry itself. But of course, we are well aware of our responsibility with Implenia to really work on that as well. For that, we have a really comprehensive sustainability strategy, which we have built up already in 2012, I guess, and of course we are working on that and redefining and bringing that further. And of course now we have different scopes which we are looking at in that sustainability strategy. But of course decarbonization is one big part of it.
Yeah.
And we do that in a short, mid and long-term perspective. So one big challenge or one big milestone year is 2025 for us, because we set different measures which we defined in our sustainability target strategy 2025. So speaking about decarbonization, for example, our target is to reduce our CO2 emissions, or sales-based CO2 emissions, for the whole group by 15%, so in 2 years, which is quite an ambitious target, but I'm really positive that we will reach it. Mm-hmm. But of course, we are also looking at the long-term perspective. So we have also now started the process for our sustainability strategy on the long run. So our ambition is, in the latest in 2050, we want to be net zero. And that's a really, really big goal for us, because if you consider, or if you think of the big hybrid infrastructure projects like tunnels and stuff, we have to use a lot of cement, energy, fuel, and so on and so forth, and that's always incorporated with CO2 emissions.
Yeah, it's kind of an inevitable part.
Exactly, but we want to reduce it dramatically. So, and that has to be as fast as possible.
Yeah.
But of course, that's just the beginning, and all the other construction companies are also thinking about ways to reduce that, so that we can be a role model as an industry for CO2 reduction.
Yeah, well, change is difficult but yet necessary, and transitioning to more sustainable practices often comes with a lot of challenges. So this links to my what was supposed to be next question, but you mentioned the strategies and the goals, but there needs to be a lot of innovation in the process to be able to handle this in a fast way, effective way, successful way. So is there any, could you name or illustrate with any innovative initiatives or activities that you plan to achieve these goals, especially with, for example, CO2 emissions or BEVs?
Yeah, maybe I don't know how you look at the construction industry, but in general, the construction industry is not really or seen as the most innovative industry, which I personally think it's not quite true, because we see a lot of innovation and innovative ideas on the construction side on a daily basis. It's not maybe the groundbreaking big innovation as you can read it in a newspaper, but it's the small ideas which maybe make the shift, or even, I don't know, pushes the process to bigger innovatives or something. So we try to get that from our employees. So we started the process, entrepreneurial spirit. So we have the Innovation Hub at Implenia, where all employees can reach in ideas, and they get the support and the time that they can make something out of their ideas. But of course, we are in a lot of contacts and strategic partnerships with a lot of startups, for example, with innovative startups who are thinking construction in new ways and methods and processes. So we get a lot of ideas from internal and external partners.
And being part of the Subspace help you do more of that, but we will tackle this in a bit.
Yes.
When it comes to decarbonization, which is a huge topic, and innovation in construction sites, one thing that is included there or can be applied in construction industry or in other industries, but mostly in construction, is electrification. So many industries are moving into electrification and reducing fossil fuels, and this is also happening in the construction industry, this shift. So electrification includes shifting to BEVs also, and this is a shift that takes its time. There are a lot of concerns related to it, and many companies are doing this shift, or in different countries the shift is in different speeds. So some countries are more fast or quicker, more advanced with this. Some others are still not accepting the idea, depending on the agenda of the country, the innovative spirit of the company itself, the need to fully decarbonize depending on the country, and things like that. So how is Implenia doing this with Switzerland? Because we are talking about Switzerland, Nordic countries have another approach, countries far away, other approaches. So how is the situation with Switzerland? And since Implenia is one of the biggest companies, how are you paving the way towards this shift?
Of course, we as Implenia want to be a front runner for such innovations, not only BEVs but also others. But if you're talking about BEVs, that's one piece of the puzzle for sure. If we talk about decarbonization, if we are talking about net zero strategies or net zero construction site, BEVs has to play a major role in that. We are also trying to push that development. We are in constant contact with the big machine producers and partners. We buy machines and excavators and stuff from it. Of course, we are now piloting in different projects also the operational BEVs, so test it and try to figure out, okay, how we can use it and how we can put it effectively on our construction site. That's for sure. But as you also said before, there are a lot of concerns about it also. So which, when it comes to tunnel construction, if we are operating in closed structures or closed rooms or stuff, then you have to think about the reliability, you have to think about safety issues or safety measures when it comes to BEVs. But we are full in testing, and I personally think there will be a lot of evolutions now in the upcoming years. So this will be seen more and more on the construction site. And also, as you can see, in Switzerland, maybe it's not that common for now, but we see some progress there. If we are then looking into the Nordics, like Norway or Sweden, that's a whole different story. So there is a lot of progress. They have a lot of electrical machines in place, but you have to look also on the client side, because we are mostly working, or we as civil engineering are mostly working with the public clients. Yeah. So they have really strong regulations. They are regulated, and of course, if you want to implement innovations or new methods or new materials, even, they have to be tested, and they have to be tested good. And before you implement a new method or innovation, they have to be standardized, they have to be tested, they have to be safe and everything. So that takes a lot of effort and a lot of hard work to really convince also our clients that this is useful to be. Yeah. And also sometimes if we then take decarbonization and more sustainable construction site into consideration, that sometimes or often, you must say, comes with additional costs. So, and
there
sometimes
are many things that needs to be taken.
Exactly, and then the question is who's going to take that additional cost. So that also takes a lot of convincing. Yeah,
but we understand that collaboration is key to driving innovation, and that's actually the idea behind the Subspace Energy Hub. As you said, as a construction company, you need to test solutions. You cannot do everything on your own, because you need other stakeholders that bring their own expertise and part in order to come up with a new tested solution or product. So that's the whole idea behind the Subspace Energy Hub, and we've been trying to bring closer different stakeholders of the industry in prototyping and discussing. We also organized a roundtable a while ago with regards to the BEVs in tunnel construction. So could you share a bit more or shed some light on your collaboration with the Subspace Energy Hub, like Implenia and the Subspace Energy Hub, and the activities that we are planning to do in the future?
Sure, absolutely. As I said in the beginning, decarbonization and also the topic of net zero construction site, that topic is far too big for individual companies to solve by their own. So the only way, in my opinion, to move forward and take the steps which are needed is to work together. And the magic word, as you said, is collaboration here. So that's why we are also a shareholder in the test gallery here. We do a lot of testing, we do a lot of collaborative workshops, we try to get in contact, and also within the Subspace Energy Hub. That gives us the possibility to really engage with partners from other industries, but also partners within the industry, or the construction industry. Maybe they have different perspective on certain tasks or topics. Mostly they have the same problems, but maybe they have other ways to approach it. Mm-hmm. So, and I think when you are inside such working groups and working on really, really strong topics which be really challenging in the future for everyone, then I think you really can benefit by share really your insights and speak openly about the challenges you face and the other one is facing, and then find a solution together. So I think that's really beneficial.
I agree. Jakob, every time I'm in Switzerland, or let's say in Zurich, because I'm mostly in Zurich, and whenever I walk by a construction site, most of the times I see Implenia logo, Implenia building roads or civil buildings, and I see that Yeah, it's quite broad or spread, and that means that you have good reputation or to be trusted this bigger projects for the city. So sustainable construction has a broader impact to the communities, and I wanted to know how is Implenia making sure that its projects positively impact the communities around in environmental but also on a social level.
Mm. In my opinion, I think all projects we are doing have a really positive impact on society and also of the community and everything. So especially when we are talking about civil engineering, if you consider we are building roads, we are building tunnels, we are building sewage systems and everything, we speak of that like those are the lifelines of the society. Because we as society, we need infrastructure, we need the roads, we need the railways, we need the tunnels, and you need someone to build it. And we have the know-how and also the passion to do it. And we really try to do that in the most sustainable way, so that also future generation can benefit from it. So that's our mindset, and that's how we approach that projects.
Yeah, absolutely. Jakob, thank you very much for joining us today and for sharing your experience with Implenia, the plans that Implenia has in the near future when it comes to innovation, decarbonization, and also the collaboration with the Subspace Energy Hub. It's very inspiring to hear that good changes are happening in the construction industry as well. Before we wrap up, I don't know if you'd like to add something, a message, or I don't know, initiatives that are happening with Implenia in the near future that our listeners might like to hear.
Absolutely. Thank you also very much for that opportunity. I think there's not much to add. I think the construction industry has a huge responsibility when it comes to net zero and decarbonization of the whole industry. That's why we are really focusing now on new energies, on sustainable projects and areas of the market we can approach. Also with my new unit, new energy infrastructure, of course. For example, we are going into the offshore industry now in Norway. But I think most or foremost, it was really nice talking to you, of course. But if we now inspired maybe some of our listeners now to also join working groups like the Subspace Energy Hub, I think that will be crucial to work together on challenges we will facing in the future. So I hope a lot of people join us and working together on that challenge.
Thank you, Jakob, and I look forward to our continuous collaboration.
Thank you very much.